It's never been easier to play Star Wars Legion.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and in this video we're going to unbox and build the Echo Base Defenders and the Blizzard Force Battle Forces from Atomic Mass Games. Remember, they're in charge of Star Wars Legion now. Both of these sets are great values when it comes to pricing for all the contents that you get inside. They also come with three new command cards for each of the forces. And the only thing really that you have to buy after getting these is the Essentials kit, which I'll show you, which actually has a little bit more value inside of it as well. So $150 retail for both of these sets. Now there are four, as you saw in the opening frame. There's going to be one for the clones, or the GAR, and also one for the Separatists too, but those, we're not there yet. But when will there be now? I don't know then. But right now we've got the first two, which kind of makes sense because these are the first ones to come out for Star Wars Legion. Well, this era for Star Wars Legion as well. Now jumping over to ye old internet here, you can see that well, there is four, just like I said, battle forces, and here's the value. And it looks like these might have been pushed back because I saw that they're actually listed on AMG's website, or Asmodee's website, for the 30th of this month. But previously they're supposed to be the 16th. I guess we'll know soon enough what the actual release date is, but it's soon. It's soon. And here's the models that come inside of the Rebels Battle Force here. You get 4 boxes of the veterans, 2 of the Tauntaun Riders, 1 of the laser cannon teams, the C-3PO and R2-D2, which was previously only available in the Escape Pod set sort of thing, and Leia and Chewbacca. I think they're both operatives, I want to say. I'm pretty sure they're both operatives. And here's the value breakdown on both of them. It's kind of weird to put a value on R2 and C-3PO because it came with like missions inside of that set, so I figured maybe just split it kind of down the middle. Because, you know, the operatives or the character packs now are about 20 bucks, so why not? Sure, we'll put them both at 20 bucks. That gives you an MSRP of $284.90, which gives you a pretty significant savings here. And of course, remember, Asmodee, you can only discount it up to 15% for the first 30 days of a new release. So after that, retailers can pretty much sell it for whatever they want at that point. So chances are you'll find this for at least 15% off of $150 if you don't, you know, want to support your local game store, depending on what this particular situation is. But we'll say a maximum of $150, unless they're kind of short printed, where I could see like people might be snapping these up to just kind of get into the game, because it almost double value. Dude, it's like a no-brainer. It's basically free in GW money, you know what I'm saying? And this is a great way to get started, and I'll talk about that here in a second with Star Wars Legion. For the Blizzard Force Battle Force, which, by the way, this is actually a decently competitive box. A very similar list to this, just got like top 6 or top 8 at Nova Open 2022. I think it had General Veers in there too, but still, I mean, I think it was 4 squads of snowtroopers instead of 3, but it had 1 or 2 of the bikes. I want to say 2 squads. Sorry, I don't have all the exact information. I just read the article very recently and looked at the army list over on 5th Trooper. But that was pretty cool to see. I was like, dang, that's basically like a battle force right there. So what comes in this is the Vader from the starter set, which kind of doesn't have a super value on it, but we'll put it at 20 bucks too, because why not? The AT-ST kit, which is really cool. And yeah, there's a Bandai one. It's cheaper. It's a similar scale, but it doesn't come with the cards. So, I mean, you can save some money, but you still need cards, I guess. So you might as well just pick it up in this. You're never going to run more than one of these, so you're good. Once you get this, you're good. Speeder bikes, 2 packs of the speeder bikes, and these are the speeder bikes from the core set. There is a different variant of speeder bikes, so if you buy the speeder bike box, they will be different. And 3 snowtrooper units too. So again, there's some value in here. There isn't quite as much value as the Rebels one, unfortunately. Assuming we did our math right, which I'm assuming we did, but it's still a pretty significant savings altogether. And then here's a look at the next 2 as well. They have pretty good savings too. You can check out this article. I should link it in the description and also in the comments as well for you to check out. Now, once you pick this up, the only other thing you have to actually buy, oh my goodness, did I mess that up? excuse my unprofessionalism, the only other thing that you might have to buy, well, I would suggest buying if you actually want to play, is the Star Wars Legion Essentials Kit, which is a $30 retail kit. If you're a veteran, you don't need this, or you might want to pick this up because it actually comes with the skirmish rules, which they put out for free in a PDF. But having the actual cards in here is pretty neat. Where's the description? Here we go. Here is the full description. So it's going to come with your some cards, your battle cards, the sticks, all the range ruler and the maneuver template, and then it's also going to come with a bunch of tokens and stuff, the round counter, the objectives, the condition tokens, your commander tokens, which you don't have to super use, victory tokens, which are okay, and your unit ID tokens. Oh man, I totally forgot. That's the easiest way to keep your things apart on the tabletop, because all the squads kind of look the same, and I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, I'm having the hardest time keeping my models differentiated, but I totally forgot that's what those cards were for, those roster jersey numbers down that I remember. Either way, so it's going to come with everything you need, and also the 12 battle cards for the 500-point skirmish mode for the first time they actually produced those. You can get the free PDF. It still is available. I think it's a Fantasy Flight Games download, to be quite honest. So $180 retail. You're up and running with about, I don't want to say it is 500 points. I haven't pointed out this box, but it's got to be pretty close. It's enough to get up and running, and I feel like they would pair well against each other, at least these two box sets, because you have the ATST and you have the big laser cannon. So here's the box set. It's a pretty chunky size box. I mean, it's bigger than a GW unit, but it's probably smaller than a Combat Patrol sort of box if you're onto the tabletop and you know what I'm talking about there. Opening this up, let's take a look at the contents. It's actually kind of pretty easy to get their stuff open and put together, believe it or not. So new is this big card with your active or your command tokens. What are these? Those are suppression tokens. There's dodge tokens. Your aims. All the tokens and things you might need right here are going to be in this box. Let's put that off to the side. Then you're going to get the new QR code system, where this is how you get your instructions for all the kits in here. So boop this. I can't boop it now because it's not active, and we're not going to see anything. And then you're going to get the card packs and all of the models. Now let's look at the card packs here, and I wanted to talk about a few things really quick. Let's jump in here. So they reprinted a bunch of upgrade cards and things, and I'm not sure how these pair up. I mean, you're not going to really realize just getting into it what all this stuff here is here. But let's see if there's any. Okay, Vigilance is super useful. You'll probably use this as Rebels. Duck and Cover is super useful. Situational Awareness is super useful in Rebels. So all of these, and here's specific to your, these are going to be specific to your Rebel veterans here. Tenacity is pretty good. You want to put this on your Tauntauns for the most part. Well, at least one squad of them, because it only comes with one. Boo. I think you get some of those in the new card pack that they just put out, and you also get some of the Vigilance in the new card pack that just came out too. So here's the existing order cards. There's Leia's card, which is kind of, I haven't really got this to work very well. So there's Leia's, and there's Chewie's, R2, which are funsies, and here's the new one. So let's zoom in and take a look at these. Okay, so here's the new ones right here, which I haven't seen before. Echo-based defenders only, so I guess that's if you do the force organization on that, which I guess we're going to find out more about at some point, because I haven't heard too much about it. Any friendly core unit gains an aim token, that's cool. Is issued an order using this card may recover. Oh, that's neat. So you can burn off all the things on top of you, and your opponent must choose one of their non-commands as a face-up if able. Huh, that's interesting. Huh, very interesting. Okay, well, there they are. So now you know what those are, and I guess you can only use them if you take this force organization. I imagine they will put that out, kind of like they did with the Shadow Collective. They were like, hey, this is the specific way to play these. Actually, I think that's already out now, if I recall correctly. Yep, I might be misspeaking. So much stuff has happened. Now, there's two different ways the models are going to come in here. They're going to come in this traditional kind of multi-part plastic sort of format that if you're familiar with Warhammer, you're going to understand and be like, okay, cool, I'm on board with this. And this is fine, and this works, and I've put the R2 and the 3PO together already in the past, and they go together just fine. But then for the most part, well, at least with the Rebel kit, yeah, well, the laser's going to be also very similar, but already coming in sections. For the most part, what your stuff's going to be is this PVC plastic and not that hard plastic sort of stuff, which is fine. It goes together well. It isn't crappy like some folks had an issue with some of the Privateer Press stuff when they did something similar, but it wasn't as good a quality. And this stuff's actually easier to trim the flash off, and I really enjoyed it, and it just goes together easier, to be quite honest with you. It's not quite the same, and it's not quite as crisp as the hard plastic stuff that I just showed you, like the 3PO and the R2. And for the most part, that's how the kits come now, is that hard plastic on the sprue and stuff. But early on, I would say about halfway through, you know, this came out in 2018, a lot of the kits came like that, and all of your Rebel veterans are also going to come like that in little baggies. So don't be afraid of this. This is fine. Stuff gets a little bent. It won't break. You might have to use a little heat to bend it back. I think my Luke Skywalker saber is a little bent right now, just because I left it in a box and it got kind of droopy, and I just had to bend it back with a little heat. It's really not that big of a deal, but overall, that's how everything's going to come. Let's take a look at the Empire box, or maybe we'll just grab some minis real quick and kind of talk about it. So I am 100% a big fat cheater. I already had all this stuff assembled because I already have a big Rebel army. So cheater, or whatever, but I did it. So here's the assembled laser cannon. I actually have one of these painted already. They're really fun. They're really fun kit. They blast, they slap, they do things. And this guy, you can keep him, you don't even have to glue him down. You can kind of keep his arm on like that and then go back and paint him, kind of like I did. Just getting ready for some paints eventually, maybe on this, I suppose. But it's great. It goes together very easily, and it's pretty crisp detail because it is that hard plastic. The little duders are that softer plastic that I kind of talked about there, but no worries on that. And then the Tauntauns. Tauntauns are fun. Super fun. They just run through enemy lines. Got a little bit of paint on this one here. You know, when it comes to size, you know, this is what you're compared to with like a Space Marine or something like that, just to kind of give you an idea. So this stuff's super easy to paint. Goes together well. The only problem with, well, a lot of these models is they all look the same. So your two dudes are gonna always look the same. I have 6 of these guys, and they all look the same. So maybe I need to kind of 3D print some tops or something to make snap these off and just have some different tops, just to kind of mix it up and make it look a little different. On the Rebel troopers, the veterans rather, these guys are really cool, and they were always my favorite of all of the looks of the guys. Now they work a little differently in game than, say, the guys that come in the starter box. You've got this upgrade guy right here, which I think that's I forget what that one does. I never run them, so I don't really know what to tell you. The ones that come in the ship, like in episode 4, they have like a shotgun. It's kind of cool. These guys here, they just look fresh, and you know, they go together. They're just super easy, really quick. You literally be up and going in like an hour with all this stuff. And then they've got this guy here, and he sets up a little differently. He's kind of fun, so you can give these guys an order, and then this guy will activate he will get an order for free. So you can kind of get a free combo Congo line thing going from these guys to this guy. And just, you know, you can also set him on Overwatch. He's got a pretty big Overwatch, and as long as his arc, you know, stuff rolls up in his arc, he can just start blasting, which is a good strategy too. I'm not sure how they are on the competitive side. I don't really run them, I guess, as much as I should, but I'm not even a competitive player. At this point, I just do everything for fun, because once I start playing competitively, then it starts to become more like work, and as you know, what I already do for work. So there is that. Now here's Leia. Now, truth be told, she doesn't have her Hoth gear on this figure, but you could paint it up to look like the Hoth gear. I don't think there's any harm in that. This one's already primed white here. But I think, now she has the Hoth hairstyle, but I think this was supposed to be more her general or assault force, like whatever the look was when she was on the ship in Return of the Jedi. But I might be misspeaking there. You could probably make this look, she just doesn't have the padded outfit or anything like that. And then when it comes to 3PO and R2, R2 is probably one of my favorite characters in MCP in Legion in general, because he just boops around, inconspicuously scoring you victory points. He's just a hoot, and you really can't mess with him, to be quite honest, unless you like roll up on him and actually assault him, and he's no kind of rollover either, I suppose. This primer right here on this C3PO was the new Army Painter primer they sent me early, which I am just in love with. This stuff is great. I was super having some fun with that. And I was like, well, let's prime 3PO, might as well. And there he is. So I already did that. And these guys are cool. I mean, check it out. Whoever thought you'd see a 3PO with a Primaris Space Marine or like an R2D2? That's some blasphemy right there. So that's it's always fun to do, I suppose. And of course you can mix and match them in your game. And then there's Chewie. Chewie's actually big. He's bigger than a Primaris. He's definitely big. I think that's my Chewie. Maybe that's a Wookiee Warrior. I don't know where my Chewie is. Shoot, I grabbed the wrong model. Anyways, that's the Wookiee Warrior. That's not Chewie, but he's about as tall. Anyways, you get the idea there. So really cool models, very neat stuff that comes inside of this one. Now let's take a look at the Imperial one. So same deal with this one. It's gonna, well, actually there's gonna be more parts in this one, believe it or not. So I'm gonna get all of the command cards and such, and then shabam. But you're gonna get the big Scout Walker base and things. Now the Scout Walker again is that hard plastic, and I was always curious when I got this, you know, the first time around. It comes pre-assembled in a sort of way, kind of like the Land Speeder does for Rebels now. So it's almost like they kind of pre-assembled some of the parts for you. Like there's no way this is how it just like popped out of the machine. But I ain't mad at it because hey, less work the better. And I'll show you put together one here in a second. You don't have to even put it all together, so you can still get some really cool posing. All the bases, more bases. That's the one for the Scout Walker right there. Cards, PVC, and the speeder bikes, believe it or not, are all very easy to put together and very detailed, but these are the traditional kind of hard plastic, just like the Scout Walker, that you might be more familiar with, like we talked about already. But when it comes to, you know, like the Vader, you know, like that's the pack with Vader and things, like you're gonna get everything all laid out. Unfortunately, I don't know that much about the Snowtroopers. They just look dope AF. I always like those guys. They're my faves. Them and Biker Scouts are just my faves when it comes to all of that. And of course, you can just boot that to get your instructions. And then looking at the cards here, you're gonna get all of Vader's Force cards and things. And I think that's, oh yeah, so that's gonna be it. So there's the 3 new cards for the, and I think there was a Stormtrooper upgrade too. Yeah, this is a new Stormtrooper that's got the flexible response. Has to equip 2 upgrades. Oh, so you have to put 2 extra duders on here. So let's take a look. So here's the 3 cards that are going to come with the Echo base or the Blizzard Force only. And these are up on AMG's site right now as a PDF, like how to get or how to Force org all that out, so you don't have to worry about that. But there's the cards there. And I think they revealed the cards too, now that I think about it. Sorry guys, it's been a wild ride since July when all this was revealed. But this is the actual way to get the cards. So if you already have all the kits, then you can just kind of make your own and print them out and things. And is there anything else new in here? Nope, I think that's it. So 26, I think it was, upgrade cards. Now, if you're new to the game too, something else I might want to suggest, and I forgot to show you this with the Rebels, is you can get these like cool little pages that have spots for upgrades, and then you can have your character card or your unit card right here, so you can have kind of some pre-assembled ready to go, and you lay these out on the battlefield, and you already got things all set up and such. So that is super fun. Now let's take a look at some of the assembled models, just to give you an idea of scale. First up, we've got the Scout Walker here, which actually comes with a little missile pod, which I think was glued on this one and then removed there after it was primed. Like I was saying, this, you don't have to glue all this stuff down, and I would definitely leave, I forget, no, I think that's already glued down, which is kind of a, yeah, it's kind of a bummer, because maybe you could put a Chewbacca in there. We know Ewoks are coming out, so that would be really cool to see, because I'm sure that it would be neat to have just like a cool display piece of some Ewoks in here. But most of the stuff moves if you don't glue it down. Like this will actually move, and these will actually, this one still moves, and the rocket pod there. And you don't have to glue this down, although it was. And these legs, I think this one might separate. No, it doesn't. You don't have to glue down any of this. Oh, there it goes. So you don't have to glue down any of this if you want to like kind of just have fun and kind of position it, or maybe for storage or something. So when you do prime it, you get all those angles on that. But just to give you an idea of scale wise, like how big this kind of actually is once I get it put back together here. And you can prop it up and kind of have it displayed kind of however you want right there. But here's a Primaris Marine if you're know more of that scale, just to give you an idea of exactly how tall this miniature is. And for the money, I mean, this multi-part plastic kit is a lot cheaper than something from, you know, Games Workshop, which would be cool to kind of see a Star Wars army in that, but I'm sure they would not be officially sanctioned, of course. And then here's the speeder bikes. You're gonna get 2 of these, which are really, really cool looking here, and give you a great idea. They're very well detailed. It's got the little blaster cannon down there, the turbine intake, and the rucksack on the back, or the packs on the back right there. I always really enjoyed these just as a kid, and then also in the tabletop game. They're just really fun. Here's Vader painted up. Now he's a little bit bigger. He's Primaris size for sure on a non-Primaris size base, as you can see there, but it is what it is when it comes to the game, and you can do all sorts of effects and things, but you will get a little bit of bend on the saber, unfortunately. It wasn't until they did the operative versions of this that you don't really see that bend, because it's that soft PVC. And then you've got the snowtroopers right here, and these guys, they're very easy to put together. Like I said, this one of these actually came apart on me. Like yeah, there's the arms and the top. So they're not very many pieces, and they're very easy to go together. It's very easy. It's soft plastic, but it's hard enough that it keeps the detail. It's just not as crisp as, you know, some of the stuff that I've showed you in the past there. And there's a bunch of these guys. You're gonna get, I believe it was 3 or 4 of these squads, and of course it comes with your base squad. And this is probably something I should have mentioned too, is generally only 5 guys, and then you can do upgrade cards, and that's what it was with the Stormtroopers. The new Stormtrooper unit card said that you basically had to take 2 unit upgrades, which can be duders with weapons, or it can just be duders in general. Actually, it might be 4. I forget. Either way, I always run mine pretty much the same. So it might be 4, and then you have to get a 5th, or maybe it's a 6th. I forget. Either way, you'll figure it out. It's super easy to kind of follow along with. I just don't really play Empire very much, or Against, to be quite honest with you. So I just don't know as much about them as I do the Rebels. In conclusion, I think now is one of the best times to get into Star Wars Legion. You have a choice of 4 great battle forces, 2 of which are not out yet. 2, hopefully we can review a little ahead of time and show you more about them when we get closer to their actual release, if AMG sends them over to us. I guess I should also mention that AMG did send these to us, so thank you very much for that. So we're able to share the contents and things with you all, so you can check it out. But overall, either way, I think this is a really cool way to get into, to pick up a new game in your area that doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's kind of evergreen at this point. There's different modes of play. You can play your, I think it's 800-point games, or you can play your 500-point games with the skirmish rules that actually come in the Essentials kit. So I can't say enough good things about these. The only thing is, all your guys are kind of going to look the same. So maybe you want to 3D print out some alternatives, or some alternative toppers for things like Scouts, speeder bikes, or perhaps like the Tauntauns or things like that. But either way, you're going to have the cards, you're going to have the majority of the miniatures. So I don't think proxies are an issue, because you have to have all these things already, which is the beauty of AMG. Kind of already self-insulated against the 3D printing game. As far as that goes, you know, you still have to buy and get all these cards and have these accessories on the tabletop, and you know, it's really not that much of money to get into these games compared to some of the other games out there. So can't say enough good things about these guys. They're very passionate about it. Check out some of their live streams where they actually play the games. Mini Stravaganza just happened. That was a cool watch with they had Din Djarin and the Dark Troopers in a game. That was really fun to watch too. So you know, enjoy the universe. If you love Star Wars, enjoy the passion of the developers and the designers. They always seem to have something good going on over there at AMG/Asmodee. So that's it for this one. Don't forget, you can always get your hobbies for less from dicehead.com, Amazon, hopefully your local game store, and you know, that's about it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos. If you liked that video feature, consider supporting us over at patreon.com and get back in the mail each month a miniature crate full of some of the stuff we review here, as well as some of the top 3D artist designs out there too, to help support what they're doing. Plus, discount coupon codes from some of those same manufacturers. They're yours to keep, whether you cancel or stay on. It's totally up to you. Obviously, we want to keep you as happy as possible. So check it out over at patreon.com/SpikeyBits.